This is FanSpeak, a weekly live show where the fans of comics and its community are our guests. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is FanSpeak for the 14th of December. And we got some interesting things here to talk about. We might get a little political, maybe. It could happen. Could happen. But nevertheless, really happy to have you guys here. And as usual from the beginning, I always say check out our links down below. Please do that. Hit that sub button and like. That definitely helps us out, I am told. But of course, being live streamers, the thing that helps us the most is to hit that share button. So we can have a bunch of people in here to chat with. We love interacting with the chat and having conversation. I mean, this is FanSpeak. I mean, we want to have an overall community. There's no celebrities here. Well, who knows? Maybe Dinale and DeWolf will be celebrities in the future, and I'll have to kowtow to them. But for right now, we're just a bunch of fans, and just like you, and we're
Yeah,
having fun. So how you doing, Dinale?
I'm doing fantastic. It's cool weather. The humidity is gone, so my nose isn't always stopped up. Like I'm
Oh yeah.
having hate allergies, and everything's moving along. I'm already following up with my New Year's commitment, resolution,
Yeah.
which is to talk about more positive things that we like. I think in the last 2 years we've been inundated with a lot of negative thoughts and negative, comments and all that stuff. And I'm thinking maybe to turn the page over to the new year,
Hmm.
since we're going to be being hit by the American elections it's going to be all negative.
Oh
I
sure.
think I think a resolution is to work to be positive about things that we do enjoy.
I'm always
Um,
positive.
right.
I'm a happy guy.
And happy guys. Happy guys. Yep. So I think that's going to be a resolution is focus more on things that we enjoy and talk about those more um, those topics that we really enjoy and we can talk in depth about. So that's my resolution for the new year, in case we're all uh, unable to do New Year's Day for whatever reason, being
Oh right,
drunk or
right.
being fun family. So
That's
I'm
true.
just
Well,
yeah.
it's a good point. I really wish, because I love talking. I love talking about movies and comics and board games and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. But I really, we should talk about more board games on here because I only talk about that on the Coffee Yaki Habara actually. But
Yeah.
you know what I really want is to have some good movies come out this year, next year that we can talk about and have fun with because there hasn't been really any good movies in a while, dude. I mean, the Joker came out and we praised that, but I haven't even got a chance to see that yet. So
Hmm.
I just hope there's some 2020 is a good movie year because we love chatting about movies because they're fun, right? But
Right.
2019 was a absolute crap year, dude. It was not a good year for movies, man. I mean, can you name any movie this year that was really great other than Joker, which, like I said, I haven't seen it? Chad, help me out. Give me a list of good movies. I'm sure there must have been some. I'm just blanking on it, but
I mean, the recent movie that I watched was Ferrari or
oh
Ford versus
yeah,
Ferrari, and that you know for what it was fantastic. I enjoy it. The mechanic side, my car fanatism for those sports cars
uh-huh.
just kind of riled up, and I was like saying, no, no, show me more. It's like I didn't really care about it. It's like talk about more about building that beauty of a car, that
Yeah,
Ford
that GT was
GT.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's another movie I haven't got a chance to see because I would definitely want to see that one. So there you go. There's a couple movies that were good right there. I'm sure there were more. But yeah, I'm a major gearhead too, dude. I love those kind
yeah,
of things. So I'm looking forward to it. And it makes me happy that it sounds good because we get some car movies that aren't so good, right? I do recall
yeah.
Sylvester Stallone doing one that I almost fell asleep in. That's not good. That's not good. Yeah.
Which one is that? The Expendables or is it Rambo 5?
No, no,
The
no. It
Late
was
Fun.
actually
Yeah.
about F1, but it was just so
Oh,
boring. Although the Fast and Furious, or at least they originally were about the car, right? It was basically Point Break car
Yeah,
version, right? But it
exactly.
but they talked so much about the cars, and there was some cool stuff about the cars, but they got away from that almost immediately. What's some other good car movies? Of course, you got the classics like Bullet, which is one of the best car chase scenes in
Oh,
history.
I love. Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing. But
Steve McQueen. Yeah,
what's some other good car movies, dude? Hmm.
car movies. Let me see. If you're going with family friendly, you can never go wrong with Herbie, especially when he was doing the French race.
Oh, those are fun, but
Back in the
I meant
yeah
Gearhead movies is what I meant.
gearhead gearhead movies.
Gearhead,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like the Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that wasn't bad.
that
That wasn't bad.
yeah.
And then they had that ridiculous parody, which had that very unfunny man named Will Ferrell in it. But you know,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but I'm sure there are. My brain's just not working today. Chat, save me. Help me out, chat. Give me a list of really cool
What
Gearhead
about
movies,
you
please.
watched Rush, right?
Rush,
That was with
that's the one with Stateman.
Chris Hemsworth, where they're doing let me see, what was it, Rush? And I remember if it was, I think it's the one where he's playing that famous Formula One racer that died at
Oh,
the end of the
Senna.
crash.
Oh, he did. I didn't know he did a movie on that. Ooh, I gotta go watch that. Senna's a legend.
Yeah,
But it's kind of
yeah,
tough because those early Hemsworth movies were pretty horrible, and you kind of stayed away from him initially. It wasn't until
yeah,
Thor that he started getting popular. Do keep in mind that he
yeah.
was in that remake of Red Dawn. Never forget it. Never forgive it.
Uh,
Right?
yes.
Never. Right?
What about Grand Prix? I think that was a pretty good one as
Grand
well.
Prix, Drive. It's more about the actual,
Yeah,
the situation rather than the car. But there are some cool car stuff. There's another one. It's called Wheelman, which is really good.
yeah.
But yeah, there's some really cool car movies. I love car movies. But anyway, we're kind of off topic. Let me go over here and say hello to the chat and see what they're having
Yes.
to say over there. Ooh, there's some people in here and they have some opinions. Uh, Timote Best says, yo, yo, yo. Well, yo to you too. El Gargoyle. Hail. Oh, that's a great name. Model 3 says, El Gargoyle says, well, that's a tough word to say. On a positive note, Weinstein has been backholed so hard in prison, he's having back problems. Okay. Was John Wick this year? Maybe.
Yeah,
John Wick 3, I think it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
That's
And that
how
was
long it
fun.
goes.
But I
Yeah.
don't know. Was the third one the best one, though? I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think the second one was still the best.
Second one was, but it was really good. Yeah.
Third one was like, it was good towards the beginning, but the end kind of fell flat.
A little bit. Let me ask my baby. Let's ask my wife.
Mm.
Oh, I got a kiss. Baby, which is the best John Wick? One, two, or three? She's contemplating. She says one. She's still on one. Sweet. But yeah, John
Yeah.
Wick was great. Hey everyone, how's it going? Roger says. Well, nice to see you in here, Roger. Oh, Vanishing Point. Thank you,
Yeah.
Gargoyle. Absolutely. Sorry that I took some time just setting up the good old Christmas sheet. Dude, I need to do that myself. The Duel is one of the best. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cobra. Oh, that car is
Oh
awesome,
yes.
Roger. Gone in 60 seconds. Yeah, see, I knew they'd help
Yes.
me out. I can always trust the chat,
Yeah.
man. Phantasm. That is not a car movie, but it does have some cool cars. You're right. You're right. All good. We have Tatsunami in here and showing us some popcorn and some cinema treats. I'm thinking what I'm seeing there. Yeah, it's all good. Well, thank you very much. But yeah, no. Thank you guys for being in here once again. Please hit that share button so we get more people in here. We do appreciate it. But we do have some news to get to today, and I'm going to jump over and get to it now. I'm going to, I guess, somewhat apologize because I'm going to start political, and but then I'm going to become comic booky.
Yeah.
Just bear with me if you don't mind. Let me go over here and hit my share button and let Denali be able to see what's going on. We want him to be in the loop.
Yes.
And then I'm going to jump over here. All right. So what do I got here? Oh, I got this.
Model. Yeah. Model 360 saying gone in 6 seconds is a booster story, and he's not here, so we can pick on him.
That's true. That's true. Well, now, first of all, here, everyone rise,
Yeah.
please. Everyone rise. Stand to your attention on your feet. Salute.
We're not. Americans aren't supposed to salute to foreign
And
powers, sir. But
wait,
I
I'm
get your point.
saluting with the wrong hand, and I'm doing it upside down. I'm
Yes.
covered.
Good.
Excellent. God save our gracious queen. God save Boris. All right, now I know, ha 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 ha. We're basically a bunch of Americans in here, but credit where credit is due, brother, because good on you, Britain, finally taking a swing back against those damn Marxists. And we had what 2/3 of Britain stand up and said no more, and they have elected a ridiculously powerful conservative government that has overwhelming majority and control. Now, you guys heard me mention this the other day, and we actually had a Brit in the chat that was basically saying, Chester, you better back up. We don't know. This is all projection. He was right. But now it is done, and it's bigger than we thought it was. Actually, it's better. So it's good that I was told to back up and wait, because thank you, Britain. And the good thing that Denali and I were having this conversation, and there's one thing that Americans don't like to admit, but the reality is, what happens in Britain, it does flow over and affects America. It always does. Right? If you study any history, you'll see this is true. And the fact that this big, huge conservative swell has happened in Britain, I think it's going to come into America even bigger next time. And of course, the Democrats are doing everything they can to help with it. Now, I know you guys like, oh, we don't want to do politics here, but we have to kind of give a shout out to Britain here. This is a really good thing for them. It's going to be a huge shot right in the head to the EU, because you've got a bunch of countries over there that want out of that nonsense, but they don't feel brave enough to take that first step. Well, Britain's taking it, and you're going to see Italy and Greece. And I imagine several other countries step up and join them. And what we're going to see is the dissolution of the EU eventually. And that's a good thing, because what was created as a trade union has become a tyrannical government. Simple, plain and simple. And it's shocking to me that you get people like Angela Merkel, and she's there. Obviously, she's so guilty about previous German crimes. She doesn't want to make sure there's no more fascism, but she is the essence of fascism. She is fascistic, right? And it's shocking to me that the Germans can't see this. But nevertheless, it is what it is. I just want to give a shout out to Britain and say thank you, because this is a good thing. Anything to say on
Well,
that, Denali?
well, I would say, what's that quote? And you'll probably correct me. Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And I just wanted to show, and I literally was saluting with the opposite hand and upside down. So I'm all good. It's clear and safe.
Yes.
But we do not salute foreign powers. You are right. But yeah, no, I just thought it was something cool to cover, because interesting thing with all this impeachment nonsense, which of course we know it's all nonsense. The West really isn't covering this enormously huge victory that took place in Britain. And this is big news, dude. And they're not covering it, you know?
Of course. I mean, they don't want Americans to have a similar idea come next year.
Although I did see a bunch of the typical. I'm going to
Oh,
stop calling them progressives and SJWs. I'm just going to call them what they are, Marxists. You have these Marxist people like AOC and things like that have made their comments about how tragic and horrible it is. So good, upset you. What do you have? What
well,
you going to say something?
I was going to say the news they are covering is people who didn't like the Democratic elected results and chanting, "This is what Democrats looks like." And I'm like, so you're happy with the results? Why are you guys protesting? Oh, you're not happy with
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
results,
yeah. Yeah.
and
No,
you're protesting against Democrat
oh yeah, they
uh,
definitely, yeah,
democracy. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Now I get it. Yeah.
Oh well,
It took me a
if
loop.
you go and take any time and look. I mean, like someone like Sargon of Akkad, or maybe you find him, maybe he's a little too offensive. He can be a little rough sometimes, but if you go and take a look at any kind of more centrist look, an actual balanced view of what's going on over there, they are losing their damn mind. And it's very reminiscent of what happened with Donald in 2016. You remember how we had all the Antifa and all those people in the streets with their signs, "It's not my president." You remember? Well, it's
Yeah.
not my prime minister signs are out there. Antifa's at it again, clashing with the police. Of course, they're a bunch of terrorists, but what do you want? But this isn't the only politics I'm covering today. And you'd say, well, Chester, apologize for your apology. I shall not. I'm not doing it because there's another thing that needs to be talked about before we get into our comic stuff. Virginia. Now, this is really just a look at something that's going on across the country. Matter of fact, in this article right here, it mentions 26 other states have done something similar. Yeah, 26 legislators have passed 67 new laws. Now, Virginia particularly irked me enough that I'm actually going to talk about it because what happened here in Virginia, and I just put the headline up, so I just chose any old headline. It doesn't really matter. It's just a conversation point. But what happened here in Virginia is you had Bloomberg, yes, the New York jerk, yeah, that guy. He came in and he spent a lot of money to really push and get Democrats into the legislature there. And of course, their intention is to create the most draconian gun laws you could possibly imagine, and the reason they're doing this has nothing to do with protecting Virginians. It has to do with hitting the NRA in the nose. Because if you don't know this, the headquarters of the NRA is in Virginia, right? So this is
Right.
political completely. And I think it's what is the SB 16 or 17, SB 63 or 64? I can't remember. It's a something like that. Don't quote me on that number. I'm sure I'm wrong. But there's two bills that have been put up that they're going to vote on for in January. And what's happening here basically is uh, with the gun one, which is the first one, the SB 1617, whatever it is, that one is basically saying you cannot own any gun pretty much at all. Any kind of modern gun, as you go to store, pretty much all those guns would be not only illegal but felony to own them. Now, what this law does is automatically overnight make a huge number of Virginians illegal, right?
Yeah.
You can't own any kind of gun that has a magazine, anything over 10. I mean, so that's even dealing with like little 22s with little
So,
barrel
so,
magazines and stuff.
so Chester, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Um, do you know if the Second Amendment was repealed recently?
No, I haven't heard that. I hadn't heard that. No, no.
So
Yeah.
wouldn't that be unconstitutional to make such a law, pass a law?
They've been making unconstitutional gun laws for 100 years, dude. And
Right.
no one seems to care because it's very clear in the Constitution. It says shall be, uninfringed, right? You cannot infringe it. And all these places that make guns illegal and stuff, it's technically against the Constitution. But I think most of us can reasonably agree to some reasonable gun laws. Is making sure that mentally insane people or criminals don't have guns, et cetera, et cetera. But we also all know that law-abiding people follow the law. Criminals don't care, right?
Right.
So
So if
it
you're
doesn't
taking
really matter. Yeah,
right, if you're taking all the guns from the law-abiding people, that doesn't mean that the criminals are going to be law-abiding either. Hence, they're criminals.
right.
Since you're just building a new problem. But I don't think Virginia is going to allow that to happen
No,
based on
no. They've got a lot of
historics.
Democrats in, dude. I think it's. I think you're going to be surprised what happens in January, actually. And of course, the people of Virginia are you know
Yeah,
absolutely up in arms and yelling and screaming about it. But the second bill though, the 60 something bill, the SB 60 something,
yeah,
that
yeah,
one is even more terrifying, that dude, because the first one is basically taking away all guns. I mean, there's pretty much
yeah.
hardly any gun that it would be safe in that under that law. But the second one is worse because it sounds like a good thing. It's sending against paramilitary groups, but actually, if you read the letter of that rule, if you gather with a couple of friends just to go to a shooting range, you're committing a felony. If you train
Right.
people how to use a gun, meaning you have actual gun classes, you're committing a felony, et cetera, et cetera. These laws are
Right.
extremely draconian. They're very widespread. They're not focused on one problem or another. They're just simply, we don't want any guns. We're going to take them away and we're going to arrest everybody. It's a red flag law, is what it is. Now, this is
Yeah.
happening in many places. It's not just Virginia, but the Virginia one, I guess, was the straw that broke the camel's back for me because it pissed me off. It just pissed me off. This is wrong. Let me do something else here. I'm going to take a moment, if you don't mind, and finish this up. And
Hmm.
let me come over here to this, and I want to demonstrate something to you. Now, this is an AR-15. Okay, this right here is a hobby gun. Okay, and it's a fun little hobby. I think a lot of people enjoy it because all those little pieces, from the stock on the back, the handle to the shroud on the front, to the sights, and there's so many pieces here. There's literally probably nearly 100 pieces on this gun that can be altered and changed. It's a fun little hobby project where you can build your own and stuff. This thing right here is being called an assault rifle, which is absolutely ridiculous. What does that even mean? I mean, if I pick up a stick and swing it at you, it's an assault stick all of a sudden, I guess. But this gun right here is fine for range. Because it's very accurate and it has long range, so it's good for going target shooting and all the little sports they do. It's perfect for that. I think that's what one of the, other than that you can make your own real cheaply. It's probably what became popular. But Dude, I would not take this into a survival situation unless I was at really close range. And I certainly wouldn't take it hunting unless I'm going after bunny rabbits. You're not going to go deer hunting with this thing, man. It's a 22. It's a 223 is what it is. Or in the military
You'll
grade, the 5.56. It's
you'll be obliterating whatever thing you hunt.
No, you won't, dude. It's weak, dude. It's not powerful at all, is my point. It's
Mm.
basically a glorified 22 LR. Right now, if you guys are wondering why I'm on this, I was raised with guns. Therefore, what that means is I've been trained in them and I've been taught the respect that they deserve. Right, as I would really think most people should be. But this is a hobby gun, guys. This is not a deadly weapon. I mean, of course, it's a gun. Any gun can be deadly, and it has its effective range, actually. But this is not that. Now, this over here, this right here, this is a Winchester 3030. Now, oh, look at it. It's quaint. It looks like those guns in those movies my grandpa used to watch, right? This 3030 will put down anything in front of it. This is a deadly weapon, truly deadly weapon, right? But it looks
Hmm.
quaint, and most of the laws don't cover it. Although you would have to reduce the magazine because they don't want that many bullets in it. But this right here is a truly deadly weapon, right? A
Yeah.
nasty thing, and it's immortal. The Winchester will never go away, and of course the Marlin. I hear you, gun guys. The Marlin's better. Yeah, you're right. But this is a beautiful weapon, and it's super powerful, and it will take down anything you aim it at. This right here is, I'm not going to call it a toy because it is a gun, but it is a hobby rifle. That's what this is. And the fact that they're going on and this is the most deadly, horrible thing in the world. Oh my God! It's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's a freaking, it's a
Yeah.
hobby gun, you dumbasses.
Right.
Whatever. It's just shocking to me, dude. Now
Yep.
let me jump over here to chat and see if anyone's yelling at me yet because I'm sure they are. Uh,
Um, they're probably talking, but yes, I know nothing about guns. No,
I
no,
just
no. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, a model says can't wait for the Boogaloo in Virginia. Now Boogaloo
Mm.
is oh goodness gracious, should I explain that? I guess I should. Boogaloo is a term that's being used by people in America because there's a big worry that a civil war is coming. Now I don't know if it's going to come to that. Well, let me say this: I certainly hope it doesn't come to that because that would be horrible. But there was these movies back in the '80s called Breakdancing and Breakdancing Electric Boogaloo, which was the second one. So Boogaloo is referencing the second Civil War. That's what that Boogaloo is. But yeah, no, it's really not good what's going on over there. Is So let me just catch up with the chat here. Yay, Boris won. Let's see here. I don't know why they don't want you to speak, Nick, but I let it show through. And they smell like rotten beef carcasses. Uh-oh. Our yaks are really large. That's cool. That's cool. There's been a lot of message retracting people who had comments and then felt second thoughts on it. Is Scotland going to succeed? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it would be really wise. I don't think Scotland really has the ability to stand on its own. But we'll see. I don't think the referendum can get through because they have to get permission from the British Parliament in order to have the vote. And now that you have an overwhelming conservative parliament, I don't think it would be allowed again. I don't know. We'll see. El Gargoyle says, "Hail, brother! This Russian collusion crap is affecting my business because of these KKK creator sons of bitches." Yeah, the Democrats. No, no, it's nonsense. It's been proven. It's gone, but they're still talking about it as if it really happened, didn't they? Because the elites don't want us to know that the rest of the world wants to be conservative. Well, most people are. If you're a parent who has a job, you're conservative. I mean, because you have to be, dude. Model says, "Can't wait for the." Oh, yeah, I already read that. Boris man
Mhm.
bad. Yeah, no, it's that's what it is. I mean, they're losing their damn mind, guys. I mean, go read some of the comments coming out of the Marxists over in Europe. They're just losing their damn mind, just like with Trump. Same thing. El Garro says normal people don't want to be forced to share what they earned, while elites have 10 mansions and 10-bedroom yachts with movie theaters. Well, yeah, understand that. They want you all eating cabbage and walking to work every day while they travel around their beautiful yachts and etc. It's not race, it's class. Yep, that's right. You're absolutely right, Tatsunami. El says, "Jokes on the Democrats. Most of the people who work for the NRA are blacks and Hispanics people, and there are almost more black gun owners than whites." Yeah, that is one thing that is interesting about the NRA and the gun protection groups in America. They're very ethnically diverse, actually. It's not, they always kind of say the NRA is the most horrible thing since Nazi. Oh, there's that Nazi word again. But no, actually, they're just patriotic Americans who want to keep their rights. Nixie says, it got bad in Virginia when Terry McAllariffe was elected governor. He stacked the state in favor of Dems. Yeah, 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 I've been paying attention to it, dude. Gargoyle says, there was that mass shooting that happened in Japan last week. Same with two mass shootings in the U.S. One in Jersey, which was actually a hate crime, and one in NOLA. What is that? Which injured 10 people. Yeah, they do happen, and it's horrible. But those people broke how many laws? And how many new laws do we need to add on top of the laws that they could care less about? I mean, honestly, what does that have to do with gun laws? That's just a criminal. And the interesting thing about these criminal actions, every time this happens, all the people around that person knew it was going to happen, and no one did nothing, right? Every time it comes out like that. So maybe we should be paying more attention to our community and stop taking so much time about just simply trying to put these widespread laws that simply give you more power and control, which is really what it's about. Now, what happened in Japan? I didn't hear about any mass shooting in Japan. Huh?
Mhm.
Someone detail me on that. I didn't hear about no man. I live here. I didn't hear any about shootings in Japan. Most modern rifles are semi-automatic. Yeah, no, that law would take pretty much all of them away. Even some of the normal ones, even like the little 22 LRs, or even the straight up like rat catcher 22s, are going to fall under that law. Magazine. If you can take a magazine, put it in and out, it's illegal. It's that simple. I got a Sig 550. Sweet, nice gun. It's the people that are horrific and dangerous, yeah, I guess. Kronos Chiron says, as a COTS person, I don't know what that means. I can tell you at the moment they are broke because a bad bank situation. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. You got to write more clearly, dude. Bullet says, "Man was the real monster all along." Yeah, of course, it's always true. New Orleans. Yeah, these things are happening all over the place, guys. Just providing more to your point, mass shooting, a fully automatic rifle was used. Okay, fine. Yeah, but I mean, those have nothing to do with gun laws, though. Anyway, let me jump over
Oh,
here.
correct. Cross. Oh, what he's saying as a Scott person, I can tell you, at the moment they are broke because of bad bank situation a year or so ago. Thus, the Scots can't afford to leave Britain. That's what he was saying.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much for
Mhm.
translating that. But anyway, I'm
Yep.
done with that. I just wanted to make that point because go good on you, Britain, and damn you, Virginia. I mean, it's just more of this nonsense, and I don't know. Is it ever going to stop? Anyway, sorry. Go
I
ahead,
mean,
Denali.
well, think about this before we jump into the news, and this is I'll leave it at this thought that when or if Donald Trump wins the reelection, he will be looking up to have two more Supreme Court seats that he
Yeah,
can nominate in
yeah,
this election.
yeah.
Plus, if Virginia does pass these two laws, you are guaranteed that the NRA will be suing the state of Virginia in front of the Supreme Courts
Oh
with
yeah,
the
that's definitely going to happen.
with the yeah. So those are those 2 points of things that we'll leave it on that. But starting with the news today from Deadline, from NBCU to Warner Media to Disney, CEO transitions are creating real life succession dramas.
Mm,
So basically, you're seeing a lot of CEO are swapping places with studios.
yeah,
So which is kind of funny because the current CEO for Warner Media is now in transition to go to be a replacement for Bob Iger for Disney.
right.
So
Yeah,
this guy has been talking with Bob Iger about what's been going on with Lucasfilm, Marvel, Pixar, and the other divisions. So when we said that heads are going to be rolling, heads are starting to roll quickly, and you're
yeah,
going to be seeing a lot of transitions happening in after this Rise of Skywalker fiasco
yeah.
that's going to happen
Well, we've already seen a bunch, right?
next
We've seen a
December.
lot
Yeah, we've
of
seen it.
replacements and swaps and stuff like that. And children, do you know the word incestuous? Tell me where the bad man touched you, right?
Yeah. So you're seeing all the CEO are just moving to different studios. So if that doesn't tell you anything, you're wondering why are these studio making the same decision? Because they're all sharing the same
Yeah, the
upper
same dudes just
management.
jumping,
Yeah,
they fail over here, they get pushed over there. Failing upwards, as we've seen happen a lot. But we've been seeing a
yeah.
lot of shift in a lot of things recently. A lot of people are being replaced and switched around, and this is kind of the thing they do. It makes it look like they're actually doing something, and "Oh, we're looking forward to a better future, or we're going to clean up the problems, or whatever this kind of nonsense politic they throw out. But as Nelly's pointing out, they just move them around, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they're a member of a club or something.
Mm, that's
Almost.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But interesting article, and we've been following this for a while, actually. And it's going to continue. Denali's 100% right, guys. When this last Star Wars movie comes out, no matter what whether it's good or bad, it isn't going to matter. It's way too controversial to have any kind of smooth ride. And it's going to cause a lot of trouble. And of course, most of the evidence we've actually covered here, and other people have covered better. To be fair, to be honest with you, um,
Hmm.
uh, it looks like it's an absolute bomb about to just explode in how bad this movie is and how disastrous the concept is. But we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. But boy, it sounds bad, dude. It
Yeah.
really sounds bad. I mean, talking about this is the thing that's interesting about these Marxists. Once again, I'm not going to call them by their cute little names like SGW anymore because that's not what they are. They're Marxists.
Hmm.
The interesting thing from them is they double down. They don't learn from their mistakes and try to adjust. They double down, and that's what it sounds like. This Rise of Skywalker is. It's a double down.
Well, if you kind of think about the age of a lot of these executives and CEO, they grew up during the time of the 80s, which is,
Yeah, my
you
time.
don't back down. Yeah. And a lot of the techniques are still implemented about how to run a company. You don't back down, you don't show weakness, because if you show weakness, most likely you're going to lose your job and you're not going to have that golden parachute,
Hmm.
you know, to take you to the next place.
Yeah.
So
Are you saying
you
I'm
have to think.
stubborn? Are you telling me I'm stubborn? Is that what you're saying?
You said it yourself.
Damn it.
Your word.
It's true. But if you guys are wondering what this has to do with comic books, well, it has everything to do with comic books, guys. There's two names sitting right in front of you. You should recognize Warner Media and Disney, and of course they're in charge of the big two, are they not? And we've seen a
Correct.
lot of this nonsense coming down to our comic books, which is where it started the whole damn indie revival. This is directly connected to comic books and everything else in our life. And we have a Warner Media, which has now been taken over by, which of course is AT&T, which seems to be extremely corporate, which it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing because they're really shaking stuff up over there, DC. And of course, we also have Disney, and now we have Kevin Feige is completely in charge of everything Marvel, and that includes the comic books. So, what kind of shift
Correct.
are we going to see there? Is it going to be good or bad? Because here's the thing: Kevin Feige has been kind of kept in check by a couple of certain people over there at Disney, and he's a business guy. He's a good employee, Kevin Feige, and he does what he's told. And he's done a good job with the Marvel universe for sure. But we know he's a liberal at heart. Now, how liberal he is, we're not 100% sure because he keeps it a bit tight to the vest. But we're going to find out because he's the boss now, and there's nobody to stand in his way now. So we're going
Pretty
to see
much.
his true
Yep.
colors very shortly, right?
That's always the test, you know.
Yep. Same thing
Before he
happened with
had his
George, right?
checks. Yep.
Yeah.
George had the checks of not being known, so he had to ask help. He had to ask,
Hmm.
what's going, if this worked. And when he made the original trilogy, he had a lot of feedback saying this doesn't work, George. This doesn't feel right,
That's right.
George. Got to
That's right.
fix this, George. But when he made the prequels, and you're wondering, how could this great man, which he's still great and he's still a visionary, made such a luck bust, lackbuster
Hmm.
um, prequel? Nobody told him no, this isn't good. He didn't get that positive, that needed feedback to say, to push him to do better because he was the one writing the checks for all of them.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
So,
no, yeah. And I'm jumping over here to the chat again. I'm going to do my best to try to keep up with as much as I can. Bank of Scotland went broke. Oh, thank you very much, Kronos. Yeah, I know there was some financial issues. Warner CEO, that is. Oh, yeah, okay, okay, okay. Oh, I see. Me too, guy. Good stream, even without Booster. We do love Booster too, but he's a lazy boy. Understand that. We joke around a lot with Booster. Of course, it's a shtick, but not all of it is. So let me see. Now, Gargoyle. Let's see. I got a couple messages here that are being held, so I need to make a decision on them. Because anytime there's like a really foul language or something, the algorithm automatically leaves it for me to show it or hide it. Now, El Gargo, I understand the sentiment, and it is funny, but that's probably a little bit much for this chat. We try to keep things not it's not a family show, but we try to keep it PG-13 as best we can because we want people to be, you know, to feel welcome.
yeah,
Just reword it. I think I have no problem with what you're saying. It just make it a little less harsh, please. Just reword it, okay? Let's see. Now Nick has also had one that's been blocked for some reason. Hold on further. Okay, I don't get why that's held at all. All right, I put that one up. So yeah,
yep,
just Gargle, just put it back up. Just use a little bit more slightly gentler language. Sorry to police you on that, but yeah, we want to keep it a little more family friendly if you don't mind. Um, I hope this woke crap dies soon. Yeah, well, things do and go in cycles. I'm sure it will end eventually. Booster isn't bald and gay. No, he's not. Sorry, sorry to break you. Chester wants a $43,000 fine or 10. What is going on with the dog, baby? Oh, it's your mother's fault. Blame your mother. Yeah, yeah. Goodness gracious. I do have a bunch of activity going over here. I do apologize. But yeah, don't get angsty about it, El Gargo. Just put it back up with a little bit lighter language, please. I have no problem with the sentiment of what you're saying at all. Anyway, let's come back over here and let's continue and get into comic stuff to more directly. Ooh, this is nice news. I like this.
right. So DC is celebrating Robin's 80th with a super spectacular comic book anthology. So you're going to have a lot of creators making a lot of Robin stories, kind of like how they did with Superman and
Yeah,
Batman
yeah.
for their 80s. So it's kind of weird to keep calling the Boy Wonder uh, when he's 80 years old.
Yeah, right, right, right. But no, I think it's cool. I love these kind of things where they're showing respect and giving us a little bit of nostalgia. It's fun, right? And of course,
Right.
Detective Comics number 38, the sensational character find of 1940, Robin, boy, the boy wonder. Boy, that's a long time ago. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely give it a read because Robin doesn't get the respect he deserves, I think, and sometimes for good reason. I mean, look at that costume. But yeah, this is great. I'm enjoying all of these kind of anniversary books that are coming up, and these big old huge mega trades that are showing respect to the past, and we've seen many of them recently, and that's
Right.
cool. That's cool.
Right. And what's good about this article, it brings up the topic that we've been talking about, on several occasions, which is secret identities. Um, and how I'm tying secret identities to this article is, well, you have to really think about what secret identity purpose for a superhero is.
Mm,
And that is to allow the audience, the reader, to stand in the secret identity, being Clark, being Grayson, being um, Bruce Wayne. These are
Peter
stand-ins
Parker.
for the audience. Peter Parker, exactly the best stand-in um, for audience to connect with the superhero.
Hmm.
And without these secret identities, you have no connections, which is one of the reasons why a lot of these comic books are failing, because there's no connection. How can you really connect to um, Captain America when everybody knows that Steve Rogers is Captain America? He's always Captain America and not Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Stripping Superman of his Clark Kent secret identity strips him of him relating to humanity, because even if he's not even dressed as Superman, say he's walking down the street or he's being Clark Kent, and everybody knows he's Clark Kent, they're going to treat him as Superman. So
Hmm.
you're going to lose the connection for him for him to Superman, and Superman losing connection to us. The reason why secret identities are important, and it comes to the purpose of the psychic of Robin, actually, because during the time when Robin came, Superman wasn't the number one seller of comic books. It was Captain Marvel, because you had relatable a character of Billy Batson as Captain Marvel that connected the young readers. Same thing here. Batman um, was going to be canceled because no kid liked the Dark Knight at that time. So they had to introduce this colorful character, Robin, to connect kids through Robin through to Batman. And you can basically say that Robin is the secret identity for the young readers, which is one of the reason again that you see why the European comics, you see why the Asian comics are flourishing compared to what's going on here, because a lot of the comic book creators here are writing for adults and not for kids,
Very
with
true.
the mentality that kids are reading this.
Yeah, that's very true, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something that's going on in Europe. There's a huge comic book life over there. Here, of course, in Asia as well. And one of the things that they do really well is they have comic books for all ages, and they're constantly trying to promote for the future. And I don't know why the American comic book industry just completely gave up on the kids. I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. And if you're saying, well, they've all gone digital, well, then go digital and do it right. Yeah. I mean,
It's
what's the problem? You know?
well, it's I think it's three factors that I'll point out. The first factor is that the publishers got too greedy because of the direct market, and the speculation with everybody collecting it and thinking that it will be this grand thing when really they reduced it. And this is something we talked about previously. The second aspect is if you look towards early 90s to about now, you see a lot of art. It's not really sequential art. It's really posing. A lot of the arts that are being shown with a lot of comic books these days are really posing pinup art, put in frames, and they're not really dynamic, unlike the masters of the past, like Jack Kirby,
Yeah.
Steve Ditko, and other artists during the 70s and 80s, where
Oh yeah.
they were dynamic.
Very
So
true.
you can see the different. And if you look at again, I'll point out to the European market and you look into the Asian market, you have that still dynamic aspect of it compared to the North America thing. And then lastly, I hate to say, and no disrespect, but the artists of today and writers don't really know how to write a comic book. They
These are
have
fair
lost that
points.
craft.
We've lost some of the writing skill has dropped quite a bit, and you're absolutely right about the art. Although we see it's not all bad. Obviously, there's still some really great artists out there, but we have seen a lot of this kind of just unskilled sequential artists coming up, or just simply unskilled artists. We've seen a lot of that. Once again, it comes down to giving people opportunity when they don't deserve the opportunity, and ignoring the people who do deserve the opportunity because of some political idea. But one of the things over here in Japan that since we're talking, because I know this much better than the European situation,
Hmm.
but one of the things that they do here is if you think about what is your image of Japan. Well, of course, your image is that everyone has a robot in their house, and we're flying around in our flying cars. Of course, none of that's really true, but we are the most technologically advanced country on the planet, right? I mean, that's not argued. It is what it is. But yet, one thing the Japanese really love is to have an actual book in their hand, and their media has not gone digital. Now, when we had that Shonen Jump thing come up, where they made it all digital and available for a very low price, that you could read it in the West,
Yeah,
that was for
yeah.
Westerners. That's not for Japanese. Japanese are have everyone's got a phone in their hand. I mean, everybody's technically advanced here, but
Hmm.
they go to these enormous stores, buy their comic books, and they have them in the hand and they read them because that's what they want. So you don't even need to go digital actually. And this country proves it because you don't get more technical than here, right? So it's an interesting problem, but I think
Right.
that it has little to do with comic books and more to do with politics, and that's the ongoing problem we have. And like many people said in the chat earlier, we really need that to turn around, and hopefully it will soon. Let me check over the chat real quick before we go to our next story. Doing my best to kind of stay in touch with what you guys are doing. Let's see. It's okay. F word and sexual content is inappropriate. Yeah, no, I'd rather just let it fly, but we really can't do that, we have people in here that don't appreciate it, and that's fine. We can find, that's the thing. We can come to a happy medium, and we can compromise and agree, right? Because we're not a bunch of idiots. We can, we're adults, right? Let's see. The best Robin was Tim Drake. Prove me wrong. Nah, Tim Drake was pretty cool, dude. Pretty cool. I actually preferred Grayson much more as Nightwing. I actually rather liked Nightwing. Let's see. You strip that away, it's a game over. Yeah, okay. Secret fantasy to be. Am I losing? Oh, damn it. No, it is back now.
We're
Okay.
good. We're good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's still pretty rough, El Gargo, but I'm putting it through. There you go, guys. All right. Let's see here. Nixie says Fawcett Comics Captain Marvel is in public domain. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of stuff coming in public domain. And Denali's covered a lot of news here with us over the past year of demonstrating why. So many of these bad movies are coming out. It's simply because they're going to lose the rights to them and they want to make any penny they can at the last moment, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised if next year you start seeing even more remakes
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's hitting the 35-year mark.
It is. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Um, yeah.
for
No, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Nixie says Marvel and DC are run by morons. That's why, Chester. Nah, I can't disagree with you, dude. Let's see. Gargoyle says because we insulted kids in the movies about comic books. Well, that used to be true. When I was a kid and loving comic books, it was a very uncool thing to do, and people looked down on you. And you still got a little bit of this going on in the West, I think, but it's too bad. But it's just a hobby like any other, isn't it? Chrono says too many chefs in not enough. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Oh yeah, there you go. Kronos, once IP gets moved to big corporations, it gets lazy to cause they want to maximize return on investment, so doing at least amount, and that creates bad crap. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Let me see here on Samurai, something everywhere. Mwahaha. Sheldon Martin. Hey, Sheldon. Sheldon did really well on the show the other day. He was first time on the Drone Recorder Ultimate Edition, and we appreciate him. Arcades everywhere and drifting around in your mod cars racing for pinks is what I thought of Japan. Okay, okay. First of all, I never
Initial D.
I never see anybody drifting anywhere. And the mod car thing was hardly a thing at all, and it's certainly well past. That's Hollywood, brother. That's not Japan at all. Matter of fact, Japan is an interesting place. Pretty much everybody has a car. I don't know if the percentage is as high as America. Of course, America is probably the world's really true car culture. But Japan's oddly not a car culture, even though there are so many. They're just not. It's more of a functional tool, and that's about it. Now, there's a few car lovers and motorcycle lovers. Yeah, there's some, but it's not widespread. It's not like the states, dude. Not at all. YouTube bots, maybe. I prefer Burt Ward. That Burt Ward's awesome, dude. What about Gundam's Chester? Well, that is ridiculously popular. Yeah, you are right. Let me move on here. Boy, we've got a lot of chat today. It's awesome, dude. Go ahead, man. Oh my
Yeah.
God, what the hell is
All
this?
right. So this is from Deadline. So Game of Thrones duo David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are set to adapt a H.P. Lovecraft thriller for Warner Brothers.
Which now
So
that's cool. Now, which particular H.P. Lovecraft story they're going with here?
I believe it's actually, I think, a biopic
Oh, just a
based on
biopic.
the,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well, they
yeah.
can't screw that up too bad. They should be able to handle. Well, they should be able to handle that. I mean, and
I hope. Well, they have material to work with, and we learn as long as they have material to work with, they'll do just fine.
it's true. They've proven
Unlike,
that very
yeah,
clearly. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
They do a great job when they have the proper material. It's just when they start to think that they can make the material. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Now,
yeah,
for me personally, the Lovecraft is a little more personal than it might be normally because I'm from Rhode Island, and of course, he's from Providence, and he's one of our most famous peoples. And his story, I'll be interested to see this, but his story is a little bit sad. I mean, he was a great writer. He was, I mean, of all those people that, because all those writers of that time, they were very close. They communicated a lot, and they had like meetings and parties, and they were very friendly with each other, all of them. And that I don't know if that continues today, but it certainly did at that time. And he was like the most respected out of all those writers. He was like the king of the roost as far as their opinion of him. But in the end, he was a horrible businessman, and it's interesting how many creators are horrible businessmen, because he never actually published or copyright or whatever the proper terminology is his stuff, and that's why you see so much Lovecraft is because it's free to use. Right now, maybe if
right,
he had done it properly like the other guys, it wouldn't be as big. I wonder if that's kind of the factor. But it'd be interesting. I'd like to see what they do with that because he's a very interesting character, H.P. Lovecraft.
right. And he's one of those artists that died before people got to know his work because when he
Hmm.
died, nobody knew of him until after his death and everything. And he died of cancer and he died of poverty. So
Yeah, yeah, a lot
he
of them
got that
did.
double winner.
A
Yeah.
lot of them did. That's fair point. I mean this has nothing to do with writing, but it's kind of for me, it's the Edison thing, right? Thomas Edison, right? Because if
Hmm.
you go and look in how many patents did Thomas Edison have, well, it's freaking hundreds, right? But in reality,
Right.
if you actually study Edison, you'll find out that well, he didn't actually invent much of anything at all. He just had a lot of people that underneath him working for him, because Edison, he was a genius. I'm not taking anything away from the guy, but the real genius of Edison was marketing. He was a great businessman. He was a great manager, and that's why he was so successful, right? So the Edison effect, from my point of view, is all these kind of creators. They just don't know how to run their business. They're incredibly creative and genius in their own way, but they just don't know how to do that business aspect. And that's why you always
Right.
need an Edison around. But the problem with Edison types is they tend to take credit for everything and swallow everything up, right?
Right. The only way, I mean, look at Disney. The first time he made a company, Laugh Out Loud
Yeah,
production, it went bankrupt.
he did.
And when he started up his Disney company, he had his brother Roy Sr. helping him because Roy Sr. was the
That's
businessman
right.
and he was able to focus on being creative, and it became this juggernaut as it is
That's right.
today.
That's a
Yeah.
perfect point. Yeah, exactly. Good analogy. And if you guys want to know more about Walt Disney, we did a TFT here on this channel about Walt, and we defended him against all the haters these days, which is like, how in the hell do you hate Walt Disney? What the hell is wrong with you? Something broken in you if you hate on Walt Disney. But we did a very thorough run on that. We had some nice special guests in there, and it was a really good show. And I suggest you go check it out if you're interested in that. But yeah, all right. They should be fine with this. These guys they just need a little supervision. I think as long as they have some supervision, they're fine. You can't let them do their own thing. They're just not, they don't have that quality. Anyway, we're getting close to the end here. We got a couple more stories, so let's get into this one. Oh,
Right.
uh-oh.
So this is from Superhero Hype. Florence Pug, I guess Pug, says that the Black Widow movie isn't a passing of the torch. So she's the actress who's playing opposite of Scarlett Johansson. She's the blonde,
Yeah.
and she's saying that no, don't assume that this is a passing of the torch for this upcoming Black Widow movie.
No, she's
Um,
playing the blonde Black Widow we know from the comics, but her name is either Florence Pugh or Florence Puh. So either one, no, it's not
yeah,
good. It's not good. But
yeah,
this is her right here. She's a bit
hmm
stubby. She's a bit stubby, but that's Hollywood. Unfortunately, the women we get are so small and they got no necks and they're kind of. Yeah, sure. It is what it is. Yeah, Hollywood's kind of got this little people thing going on, but it is what it is. She might be awesome, but yeah, she's playing Yelena, of course, and she's saying, "Don't worry about it. I'm not taking over." But the thing for me, Dinelli, is, and that's all the article says, guys. But the thing for me is, why not? I mean, obviously Scarlett's done, so why can't we have her take over and be the new Black Widow? What's the problem? She did in the comic books.
right. But I think there's going to be some backlash from the still people who are still watching Marvel, or they have a plan that they're going to bring J Lo back from the dead.
Eh,
Um,
they could, I
that's my
guess. Yeah,
speculation. I
yeah.
mean, unless this is all misdirection and it is, you know, they actors lie,
Why is
so
she
they don't.
J Lo? She's not J Lo. She's Scarlett Johansson. What are you talking about, J Lo? What's a J Lo? Oh, Jingo says Jennifer Lopez. Lopez, my wife, is helping me out.
Yeah.
But Scarlett
Yes.
Johansson, yeah, no, I mean, as long as she wants to do it, she can do it. She's getting a bit old, but I don't think we care. We like Scarlett. But but I think one of the things I have no problem with them replacing her, though. I mean, it makes sense. Let Scarlett go on and do what she wants to do with her career. She was in that
Mhm.
horrible marriage story. Oh my God, what horrible people! That's, I mean, really, why is that so popular? A story about horrible people going through a divorce. It's just they're horrible. There's no reason to have any sympathy or love for them whatsoever. Whatever. But she wants to do her own thing, and cool. I mean, the acting's not bad. But I think the only real problem with this girl, she might be a great actress, though. I have no clue. Although her Russian accent sucks really bad, really bad. I mean, Booster's Russian accent is better than hers. The only problem is she's unattractive. And we really they should have chosen someone, a real hottie dude. Now, I don't know why they did this, but I guess it's the kind of way it goes because she's not a pretty girl at all, right?
Nice save, Chester. Nice save.
Did I say what did I do?
No, you're not you're saying because your wife is there. You're deliberately saying she's not attractive.
She's not
Nice save.
attractive. Well, she's not, dude.
Yeah,
Do you think this is a good looking girl?
I think she's a decent looking person.
Dude, she looked like someone literally put a shovel on her face and took hammers to it. Are you kidding me?
Mm. No, I seen a face that got hit by a hammer, shovel.
Yeah,
Trust
that's what
me.
it looks like. Yeah. I
Okay.
don't, but I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. Even though
Yeah.
her accent in the trailer is horrible, she could be a great actress. So I guess that's all that really matters. But it would have been nice that she was at least attractive. But I guess it doesn't matter. But sounds
Mhm.
like it doesn't matter what I think anyway, because it's not a passing of the torch, and therefore we're going to get more Scarlett Johansson. So, yay! And let me come over here and check the chat before we go to our last story. Let me see here. I'm sure they're yelling at me about something. Have
Yeah,
you?
you two bots incoming for your comments about that.
Maybe.
Remember,
Yeah.
remember the guidelines. You're not supposed to be making such language about
Oh
people's
no, I can
appearance.
make it. I just can't say it more than a certain number of times, which is arbitrary. I don't know how many times I can't say it, but since I said it, what, 3 times? Maybe I'm. You're right. I'm probably in trouble. El
Mhm.
Gargoyle says, "Have you met Black Pigeon in Japan?" No, I haven't. He lives in Tokyo. I do appreciate his stuff. He Now that is a dude knows how to create really good content, great production value, and he's very in a very informed opinion, unlike mine, which some of my opinions are extremely informed, others aren't. It's just my gut. But that's a real, actual YouTuber, the Black Pigeon. So if you haven't seen him, go check him out. That guy's awesome. Sheldon says, "Ha, I'm a little down. Hopefully, the beautiful forests are real." Oh, well, okay. Let's see here. Krabus. What are we doing about? Joe Bar. I don't know what that means, dude. He had stuff that he never published, and it's why up till the other day, we in Canada had a law about creation, not publication. Oh, I see. I was talking about H.P. Lovecraft. Didn't come
Mhm.
out till the 60s. Okay. I think it's pronounced Pew. Either way, let's see.
Pew
Nick Say says
pew.
Black Widow's screenplay writer co-wrote Captain Marvel. Yay! Well, it's a meh movie. It's not a bad movie actually, Captain Marvel. The real problem people have is Brie Larson. She's really the worst part of the movie, and she's just a mean, nasty lady. But the movie as itself overall, it's a five. Really, I guess four maybe because of her bad performance, I guess. But it's not that bad, guys. I get it. Chester is toxic femininity. I am toxic femininity. Bullet. Really? I am not. I am toxic
Wow.
masculinity, sir. Sheldon says there's
No,
probably a
Bully was right. Yeah, no, Bully's right.
right.
Toxic femininity.
Right.
Hmm.
It's probably a passing of the torch, just assuring it isn't the whole time. I kind of figured it would be, and I don't even have a problem with it being a passing of the torch. Let's see. Chrono says no. Chester is toxic alienity. Well, thank you. Now I'm not only an ancient that's been around for centuries. Now I'm not even from the planet. All right. I see how it is.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
Perfect sense. Gargoyle says James O'Barr creator of The Crow. He got completely backtold by Winston. Oh goodness gracious! Yeah, that whole thing was unfortunate. But I don't know. Was that lightning in a bottle, or do we really want more Crow? I'm not sure.
I think it
But
was lightning in a bottle.
yeah, yeah, I think so too. Especially if you get into the undertones of The Crow and understand that it didn't come out exactly as the writer wanted it to, right?
Right.
But anyway, we won't get into that because that'll definitely get me a copyright strike or some kind of
Yeah.
slap on the hand. But here we go. Last story.
All right. So this is from Superhero Hypes. Somali posted this up.
Huh?
Jonathan, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Jonathan Whistle. and I
Entwistle.
do apologize. Entwistle. Director, everything's gonna end. It's developing a new Power Rangers reboot for Paramount because Hasbro bought the property from Saban, and of course they were going to do a reboot. And they're saying it's going to be more in line with the '90 TV show than the actual reboot reimagining that came out with all that because Hasbro wants to make actually awesome looking toys and
Sure,
not
sure.
that mess that came out
Well,
for the for the reboot
well, the thing though,
or
Janelle, when
previous reboot.
companies
Yeah.
put out these cartoons and stuff like that to
Hmm.
sell, toys, they're actually pretty good. You know, when you start getting a politic in it, which we saw with that reboot that came out with Power Rangers, it sucks. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, just go ahead, make money. We have no problem with you making money. We're all capitalists here. But it is. We did cover this before. This isn't the first time we talked about this. But I thought I thought it was very strange though, because we just had a reboot and now we're getting another one. What else has that happened with recently? Hmm. Hmm. Something about ghosts and Dan Aykroyd. I'm not sure. But
Oh, right. Yeah.
right?
Charlie's Angels. Yeah, Charlie's
Charlie.
Angels. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, that
oh
was.
wait, that was a Bill Murray. That was a Bill Murray film
Yeah, that's
right there.
right. But so I'm not of the generation of the Power Rangers. I'm not from that. I always thought it was dumb looking. But then again, when I was a kid, loving my Star Blazers and Gatchaman and all that kind of, or Battle of the Planet, sorry, it
Hmm.
probably they people thought the same of what I liked. But I have no problem for it. I think cool. There's a big, huge fan base, and I hope that they have a fun with it. But I don't know what to say. Hopefully it's better, but boy, they just once again, to me, it's kind of like doubling down, though, isn't it?
Well, they're always going to double down because they want to make money. Again, this is what they don't. The CEO and upper management for a corporation, they don't care. They care for the bottom line. That's
True.
why they always produce crappy things because if you really care and they really want to do creative stuff, they wouldn't be CEO. They would be the employees. You have to be a social. To be honest, you have to be at a level of a sociopath to be in the position of a CEO
hmm
for the things that you have to do to get into that position. To be honest,
And this is talking about a movie, by the way, not a TV show.
correct.
Not the comic book, because the comic book is interesting because we've covered that here a little bit too. There's
Right,
some really killer art going on in Power Rangers right now. And
right.
the story is a bit mixed though, because you have some things that's really cool about the story, and then you have other things that's very much of the modern day politic. So it's a mixed bag with the Power Rangers right now. But one thing I will say positive is the art on those books are stellar, stellar. Yeah, because I had to read some of them for the when I was doing the new comic Wednesday over at Pencil for Life channel, and those things are
Uh,
beautiful, dude.
Right. And
Yeah,
speaking of Pencil Love, if people can send him well wishes since he's been having some family problems, with his mom health not
yeah,
getting
yeah.
better and everything. So if you're able to, just send him, well wishes for him and his family.
Good point, dude.
Stuff like that.
Good point. Brad's a great guy, great artist, and we want to support each other for sure over here. But let me come back over here and do like this, and don't do that, and then do this, and let me check the chat one more time before we end up here today. Peter Rabbit 2, yes. Okay, cool. Go Power Rangers. I love Power Rangers. Gadget Rangers. You're a Jedi, Frodo. Use the Force. Sweet. Combo Bob says. Yeah, no, I know that generation just absolutely loved it, and that's cool, dude. I have nothing but respect for it. It just I wasn't of that generation is all I'm saying. Power Rangers Shattered Grid was pretty good. I'm letting in that's from Comic Book Bob, and I'm letting into Fever Man Jay. I don't know what that means, and Chrono says fart for some reason. I'm not really sure. Um, Yeah, no, and once again, El Gargo, I don't know why that first one you put up they blocked. I get why you blocked that, and thank you for changing that. But they keep blocking everything you're showing now, dude. I'm gonna put this back up. I don't understand what's wrong with this comment he puts up here. Maybe it's the word retard, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. But
Yeah.
he's right though. In that movie, the black dude was written horribly. As I watched that Power Ranger movie, and they didn't write him well at all. I don't know what they were thinking about that, but he's not wrong. But it must have been the word retard, I guess. But that's fine. It's just a word. Anyway, awesome. Thank you guys very much for coming in here. We always enjoy doing FanSpeak, and Comics News Day is really what it is. We haven't had a guest in a while, and I'm intentionally so. I'm kind of relaxing here at the end of the year. When we come in next year, we'll start doing more of that. But just having a chat with us and you guys, and I think that's a lot of fun. And thank you for all your comments and interaction. That makes it the best. And do keep in mind, we're happy to have any of you on the show. We really are. We mean that, you know. We're not joking. If you guys want to be on the show, just go down to my Twitter down below, hit me up, and I will put you on the show, man. I mean, this is FanSpeak. We mean what we say. I know there's a lot of channels that might make those statements or occasionally have people on, but they don't mean it. We do. We'd love to have a conversation with you because that's all it is. We're just a bunch of fans having conversations. This is not some big YouTube channel, and nor is it intended to be. We're just here having fun, and we want to hear from you and get your opinion. And of course, that becomes eminently important because tomorrow is TFT, Tinfoil Talk, baby, and we're getting into what dinosaur conspiracies. Oh no, say it isn't so, but we are. We're doing it. It's going to be fun. And Model 3 is going to be in here, and boy, is he going to be on a tear because he's all about that dinosaur conspiracy stuff. And you'd be shocked, Denali. There's a lot of
Mhm.
conspiracy around dinosaurs. If you didn't know.
Dinosaur control the world.
No, but I mean, real seriously.
Yeah.
You would be shocked at how much conspiracy theories around dinosaurs. You would think there's not enough information there for a show. Oh no, there's plenty of information for a show. And come back and check that out. Of course, our tinfoil talk shows can get a little controversial, I guess. But once again, we're just having fun. We're having a conversation. We're just people talking, which is shocking to me. That of course I know it's political. I get it, but it is shocking to me that you have people who are literally standing up in front of their politic and saying we can't have conversations. Really, really, is that the kind of world you want to live in? Because that to me sounds like Marxism. Smells like Marxism. It does for sure, and we know it's evil thing. Nevertheless, that's all I got to say today, guys. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow. And of course, what that means is it's Denali's time to talk and to take us out of here.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for this Fan Speak edition where we talk politics for half an hour
Yeah.
and the other half with the news. So, but thank you for all the comments. We do read them. We do enjoy them. Make sure to comment down below the videos if you have more to say because we do read those as well. And don't forget to hit that bell notification because YouTube likes to kind of throttle channels, so you just have to remind YouTube, yes, we do want to get notification
Yeah,
from us, and
especially
please
now.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Join the Immortal Mass newsletter at dinalescomic@gmail.com. Just send me an email saying you want to be part of it, and you shall. But as always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Later, everybody.
Aloha.